Howard here once again with Tangerine by Led Zeppelin. I did a previous tutorial on the guitar solo, the slide and the fretted solo from Tangerine in a previous video. And so quite a few people asked me if I would just do the song. Okay, so I'm just doing it on my 6-string acoustic, my Fender Paramount here. And I'm just going to walk you through the chords, kind of explaining what Jimmy does, and actually trying to be as specific as possible with what's going on in the right hand, because even though it's a relatively easy tune and it's all pretty much basic chords, you want to get the little rhythmic articulations that he does just right in order to make it sound really good. And then I think what I'll do is at the end of the video, I'll edit into the previous lesson that I did. So you have the full song in one video, how to play the acoustic guitar part and how to play the solo part at the end of the video, okay? So here we go. Now a quick bit about the tuning on this song. I am in standard tuning, but the recording is pitched slightly flat. It is by no means a full half step, so what happened was Jimmy probably tweaked the tape and just slowed it down a hair because he liked the feel of that a little bit better. So if you want to play along with the recording, you can use some software to pitch it up to 440, or you can tune down a little bit to get in touch with it. But again, it's not a perfect half step. It's somewhere between A and A flat, mysteriously, okay? So anyway, so first things first is we've got an A minor chord, just a standard A minor chord out the gate. And what we're doing is we're playing a little melody across the B string, the second string from the bottom of the guitar. And it goes like so. So from the A minor chord, you're adding your pinky to the 3rd fret on the B string, letting it back off, and then finally the 1st finger off, all on the B string. And I'm doing that all with downstrokes. And we land a G chord. And I'm playing a G chord with both the 1st string and the 2nd string fretted at the 3rd fret, especially if you're playing it on 6th string, because it just sounds a little bit fuller if you don't have a 12 string. And it's 2 downstrokes sweeping all 6 strings twice on the G chord. And then a quick D chord twice, 2 downstrokes as well. So what actually happened there was 2 quick strokes on the D chord, and then another stroke, and then hit the open D string, and then swing and hit the chord again. 2 full strokes on the D chord afterwards. So again, on the D chord, just playing it nice and slow so you can really have the rhythmic articulation that Jimmy plays it with. Again. So now we have and then we repeat that. But after the 3 strokes on the D chord, the 2 quick ones, and the one we'll call slightly delayed one, you move to a C chord. So the second go around is played like this. Right? 2 quick strokes on a C chord. Now what I did right there is I basically just grabbed the bass note of the C chord. It doesn't matter if you hit the A string and the D string together, as long as you're sort of gravitating toward the low end of the chord. And then with an upstroke, swing up and sort of brush the chord from the B string up. Now it may seem like I'm over explaining this, but having shown this tune to a lot of my students in the past, knowing the real rhythmic articulation and what Page does really helped them a lot to play the song. So I'm just trying to share that with you as well. Just like that. Okay, so now if we put the 2 together the first time through and the second time through, we have this. I'll do it nice and slow. Now once we've hit the C chord, we arpeggiate as so. So what we're doing is we're arpeggiating across the C chord like so. So it's the A string, the D string, the G string, and the B string. And you want to approach that with a down, 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 up cross-picking type pattern, making it easier for you to strike the next arpeggio with the downstroke because you want your right hand moving in the right direction. Okay, so that formation right there is C. Remove your ring finger from the A string and pull your second finger up to the A string at the second fret and do the same picking pattern. And then you land an A minor chord. You can just hit the open A string first if you want to really bring out the tail end of the arpeggio, or you can just hit the whole chord, whatever works best for you. Or, okay, but once you land the A minor chord, it's so on the A minor, it's down, up, down. On the G, it's up, down. And on the D, up, down. And then we do this little trick here. Very standard D and D suspended type stuff. What I'm doing is I'm adding my pinky to the first string at the third fret. So it's down, up, down, and the finger comes down with that downstroke. And I think you can just finish off the rest of it really with downstrokes if you want to. So it is back off with the pinky, off with the second finger, and the second finger back on. Okay, so that's quite a bit of a rhythmic articulation, but well worth the effort to make this song sound cool. So here it is again, everything we've done so far. Now, of course, you're going to repeat all of that for the verse when Robert Plant comes in singing, but then we move right to the chorus. Then it's right back to the verse, of course. So let's talk about that chorus briefly. It's not too difficult to play, just 3 chords, C, G, and D. But you notice at the end of the chorus, there's a little funny thing that kind of happens with how they elongate the G chord, so to speak. So first things first, we've got a C chord to a D chord, and both of those are down, up, down, down, up, down. And then you're into a pretty relaxed flow in the right hand. But you want to catch that, right? So it's down, down, up, down, up. So you're catching the D chord on that upstroke. And you're also catching the C chord on the upstroke and then laying into that particular chord with a downstroke. Up, down, down on the C chord. you can see it repeats from there. So once again, real slowly. So on that last one, you can see that I'm hanging out on the G chord for a while. And once again, landing that D chord on the upstroke. So it's down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So that's a bit odd in a way, because you really are hanging out there for a bit. You can see that I'm just keeping the strumming going once I hit the D chord and adding the pinky in once again and kind of letting it off. That part of the song kind of varies a little bit from section to section or from a bit to bit as Jimmy plays it. So feel free to just kind of loosen that up and play it how it sounds good for you. But here is the chorus again complete. I'll do it slow and then play it up to tempo. Quicker. And that leads us up to the solo section, okay? And like I said, at the end of this video, I'll edit in my previous lesson on the solo so that you have that all in one lesson. But let's talk about the chords on that solo section because once again, it's got a little bit of a tail end to it that's a bit odd. So the chords under Jimmy's solo are A minor, C, D, big O F bar chord, to E, back to F, back to E, and then C, G, and D. But it's played like this. So again, the very tail end of this chord progression has a little bit of, just a little bit of oddness to it. So there's a couple of different ways to approach it, but this is the way I like to play it, and I think it's real nice with the recording. You've got an A minor chord, C, D, and for those I'm just doing a down, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then it gets into the kind of Spanish bit. I like to actually just take my finger off the edge of the, take my hand off the edge of the neck to make the E chord so I can just play it like this. But if if you're more comfortable with just a standard E shape, that's fine too. Most importantly is just that little kind of Spanish flavored groove that he gets into. So from the F, from when you hit the F for the first time. So you can see I'm just doing a lot of downstrokes and trying to capture that groove. There you have it. So we have okay, so the tail end of that, again, the C, the G, and the D can be a little bit odd to play just the way they've laid it out in the recording. So on the C chord, you've got down, up, down, up, down, up, and you're catching that G chord with the upstroke. Chord with an upstroke. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And on the D chord, you've got, that's the middle finger coming off. Once you hit the D chord with that upstroke, you just stay with the alternate strokes, okay? See how the fingers really follow the strokes. Kind of an exaggerated move there, but hopefully that helps. And then you're back to the chorus. Okay, so the solo section, once again. So on and so forth into the chorus once again. So at the end of the last chorus, you kind of hang out on the D chord for a while, okay? So we've got drums kick in, and then we go. So that ending, you can see you're just riding that D chord for a while, down, up, down. You do that 4 times, and you also do it 2 times after the drums kick in, and then Jimmy finally begins the So for that, it's the middle finger off, just as before. Down, up, down, with the last downstroke bringing the finger back on. And you can pretty much see what I did right there. And just keep your strumming nice and loose on that. Gracefully brush an A minor chord twice. And then what happens here is you rest your ring finger on the 3rd fret on the E string, the 6th string. So what I'm doing there in the right hand is you're going to hold that note down, make sure it sustains through what you're doing afterwards. And I'm using just the D, the G, and the B string. And again, I'm walking up the B string, similar to what he did with the A minor in the beginning. He's just moving a little melody around there. First it's open, 1st fret on the B string, always hitting all 3 strings over here, and then your pinky at the 3rd fret. So we've got... And once you land that, you can hear on the recording, he's just kind of keeping time with these graceful brush-like alternate strokes in the right hand. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, now that's basically an F chord without barring. We've got the 3rd fret on the A string, 3rd fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the G string, and for right now the 1st finger is off, and we're just engaging with the A, the D, the G, and the B string. 2 downstrokes, put the finger on, and you wind up with... So we've got... And then for the ending... So again, I'm just working with those same 3 strings, the D, the G, and the B, and you can see that my 1st finger's at the 1st fret on the B string, then open, B string by itself, and then finally the G string, and then land a G chord. Or if you like the harmonics, at the 12th fret. So once again, it may seem like an over attention to detail, but having taught this song to so many students over the years, these little bits and pieces, the odd bits about the rhythm and how to exactly approach the ending, for instance, can be a little bit of a gray area. So I thought I would just take the time to really explain it well, and hopefully you'll be able to play the tune as you really want to be able to play it, okay? So anyway, here we go with the solo section as promised. Howard here, taking a look at Tangerine, the solo from Tangerine by Jimmy Page, of course. And it's another one of my favorite Page solos, just short, to the point, and beautifully constructed. On the recording, this is actually doubled. And to my ears, it's a slide guitar doubling a fretted guitar, or vice versa. At least that's the way it sounds to me, so that's the way I'm presenting it in this particular lesson. So the cool thing is, if you don't like to play slide, you'll learn how to play it normally. And if you do like to play slide, that's included in this lesson. So here we go.